Subaru owners are making 12 mistakes that are destroying their engines, killing their transmissions, and costing thousands in completely avoidable repairs. Not obscure mistakes, not things only inexperienced owners do. Mistakes that intelligent, well-meaning Subaru owners make every single day because nobody ever told them these specific things were wrong. I've watched these exact mistakes turn $300 maintenance visits into $6,000 engine rebuilds. I've seen them transform a Subaru that should have lasted 300,000 miles into one that needed a new transmission at 95,000 miles. The worst part is how preventable all of this is. Every mistake on this list costs nothing to avoid. $0. Just knowledge and a change in habit. Let's get into it. Mistake number 1. Warming up by idling instead of driving gently. Owners who understand cold starts are damaging. Try to solve the problem by idling 5 to 10 minutes before driving. This feels responsible. It's wrong. Prolonged idling warms the coolant but not the oil, transmission fluid, or drivetrain components because there's no load on the system. Meanwhile, idling creates carbon buildup from incomplete combustion at low temperature. On turbocharged models, cold oil idling doesn't circulate oil through the turbocharger at adequate pressure. Carbon buildup from cold idling contributes to intake valve deposits requiring $600 to $1,200 professional cleaning. On turbo models, repeated cold idling shortens turbo life to 100,000 miles instead of 250,000. What to do? Instead, idle exactly 60 seconds after a cold start. Then drive gently, keeping RPMs below 2,500 until the temperature gauge reaches center. That's correct warm-up, not 10 minutes of stationary idling. Mistake number 2. Using the wrong coolant. Subaru engines require specific coolant chemistry for their aluminum components. The cylinder heads, water pump housing, and radiator all need coolant with corrosion inhibitors formulated specifically for aluminum compatibility. Generic green coolant uses silicate-based inhibitors formulated primarily for iron engines. In Subaru's aluminum-heavy engine, these silicates can accelerate corrosion and attack water pump seals. Mixing coolant types neutralizes the protective chemistry of both, leaving reduced corrosion protection and potential deposit formation. On EJ25 engines already prone to head gaskets, compromised coolant chemistry accelerates corrosion of the sealing surfaces, turning a 100,000-mile head gasket into an 80,000-mile one. Water pump failure from coolant incompatibility, $400 to $600. Accelerated head gasket failure, $2,000 to $2,500 arriving earlier than it should. What to do? Instead, use only Subaru Super Coolant or a coolant meeting the Subaru specification for Japanese vehicle aluminum engines. Never mix coolant types. Flush completely before switching coolant types. Mistake number 3. Ignoring tire diameter matching. On AWD, Subaru's symmetrical AWD is one of its greatest achievements. It's also one of its most sensitive components to misuse. Replacing only 2 tires, running a mismatched spare, or mixing tire sizes forces the AWD center differential to compensate for wheels turning at different speeds even in a straight line. The differential continuously transfers torque, trying to correct what it interprets as wheel spin, generating constant heat that degrades differential fluid and accelerates internal wear. On CVT-equipped Subarus, diameter mismatch also stresses the front differential integrated into the CVT housing, contributing directly to premature CVT failure. Subaru specifies all 4 tires must remain within 1/4 inch of circumference. This is an engineering requirement, not a suggestion. Center differential replacement, $1,500 to $3,000. What to do? Instead, always replace tires in sets of 4. If one tire is damaged, replace all 4 or have remaining tires shaved to match. Rotate every 5,000 miles to maintain even wear. Mistake number 4. Skipping the CVT fluid change. This mistake is so expensive and so common it belongs on every Subaru list ever made. CVT fluid friction modifiers deplete with heat and mileage. Depleted modifiers cause belt slip. Belt slip generates heat. Heat accelerates further depletion. The cycle ends with a failed CVT at $5,000 to $7,000. Many owners follow dealer guidance that CVT fluid is lifetime fill. It is not. No transmission fluid is lifetime fluid. Subaru's own current documentation now acknowledges service requirements, though their suggested intervals remain longer than what independent specialists recommend. What to do instead? Change CVT fluid every 60,000 miles. Genuine Subaru CVTF only. Drain and fill. Never a flush. If you don't know the history on a used purchase, change it immediately regardless of mileage. Mistake number 5. Running the engine low on oil. This sounds too basic for this list, yet it's one of the most common causes of premature Subaru engine failure. The FB25 engine in 2011 to 2019 Foresters, Crosstreks, and Imprezas consumes oil, some up to a quart every 1,500 miles. Owners who change oil on schedule but never check between changes discover the engine has been running 1 to 2 quarts low for thousands of miles. On a boxer engine where horizontal orientation already challenges oil distribution, low oil creates pressure deficiencies in the upper valve train that accelerate wear dramatically. Running consistently low contributes to bearing failures costing $3,000 to $5,000 and cam lobe wear requiring complete cylinder head replacement. What to do? Instead, check oil every 1,000 miles on any Subaru. Set a phone reminder. A 30-second dipstick check prevents failures that cost thousands. Before we continue, every mistake on this list has a correct procedure that prevents it. I've documented all of them with specific intervals in the 500,000 mile car maintenance blueprint. Link in the description. Mistake number 6. Using cheap or incorrect motor oil. Modern Subaru engines with tight tolerances are designed around specific oil viscosities. 0W20 full synthetic isn't a marketing preference. It's an engineering requirement for adequate film strength at operating temperature while maintaining cold flow properties at startup. Using 5W30 in an engine specifying 0W20 increases cold start flow resistance, delaying oil pressure buildup fractionally on every cold start. On turbocharged models, viscosity noncompliance is even more critical. Tiny turbocharger oil passages require precise viscosity for adequate flow. Turbo bearing failure from incorrect oil, $2,500 to $3,500. What to do? Instead, use only the viscosity specified in your owner's manual, full synthetic exclusively, quality brand with API certification, change at half the recommended interval. 4 rules that eliminate oil-related wear as a failure cause. Mistake number 7. Towing over the rated capacity. Subaru's towing ratings are conservative and specific. Maximum means maximum, not typical comfortable operating range. Exceeding rated capacity overloads the CVT beyond its designed thermal envelope. CVT fluid temperatures spike under towing load. Sustained temperatures above 220 degrees Fahrenheit cause actual CVT component damage. Towing beyond capacity also stresses the engine cooling system, head gaskets on EJ25 models, and the rear differential. CVT failure from thermal towing damage, $5,000 to $7,000. What to do? Instead, stay at least 10 to 15% under the maximum tow rating in normal use. Never tow at maximum capacity in hot weather or on steep mountain grades. Monitor CVT temperature through the diagnostic display we covered previously. Change CVT fluid after any extended towing regardless of mileage. Mistake number 8. Ignoring the check engine light. Subaru owners have 2 responses to check engine lights: panic or complete indifference. Indifference is the expensive one. When one code triggers and owners ignore it, secondary failures develop silently. An ignored P0420 catalytic converter code means the oxygen sensor feedback the ECU relies on for fuel trim management is compromised. The ECU runs suboptimal fuel trims. Carbon buildup accelerates. Fuel economy drops. Downstream oxygen sensor failure follows. A $350 catalytic converter issue ignored for 20,000 miles becomes a $350 catalytic converter plus $250 oxygen sensor plus $600 carbon cleaning. A flashing check engine light is different entirely. It indicates an active misfire severe enough to damage the catalytic converter. Pull over immediately. What to do? Instead, read any code immediately with a $25 OBD2 Bluetooth reader. Flashing light, stop driving, solid light with minor known code, address within 1 to 2 weeks, unknown or complex code, professional diagnosis within 1 week. Mistake number 9, neglecting the brake fluid. Brake fluid is hygroscopic. It absorbs moisture continuously. Every 1% of moisture reduces the boiling point by approximately 25 degrees Fahrenheit. New DOT 3 fluid boils at 401 degrees Fahrenheit. After 2 to 3 years, moisture contamination can drop this to 284 degrees Fahrenheit. Under hard braking on a mountain descent or in an emergency stop, this contaminated fluid can vaporize in the caliper, causing temporary but complete brake failure. Beyond safety, contaminated brake fluid corrodes ABS components, wheel cylinder bores, and caliper pistons. ABS module replacement, $800 to $1,500. Caliper replacement per axle, $300 to $600. What to do? Instead, replace brake fluid every 2 years regardless of mileage. Cost, $80 to $150 at a shop or $20 DIY. The safety value alone makes this non-negotiable. Mistake number 10, not resetting the ECU after service. After significant service, oil change, battery replacement, throttle body cleaning, CVT fluid service, or sensor replacement, the ECU's adaptive memory may be calibrated to conditions that no longer exist. The ECU continues applying fuel trim corrections for a dirty throttle body after cleaning. The transmission applies shift adaptations calibrated for old CVT fluid after new fluid is installed. These mismatched adaptations cause rough idle, poor fuel economy, and hesitation that owners then pay $100 to $150 diagnostic fees to investigate, when a 15-minute reset would have fixed it for free. What to do? Instead, after any significant service, perform the battery disconnect reset from our computer reset video. Disconnect the negative terminal. Wait 15 full minutes. Reconnect. Run the initialization sequence. Allow the ECU to relearn from the new baseline. Mistake number 11, using non-top tier fuel consistently. On every direct injection, Subaru, which is every current production model, intake valves receive no fuel wash to keep them clean. The only deposit protection those valves get is from the detergent quality of the fuel being burned. Consistent non-top tier fuel, containing significantly lower detergent concentrations, allows carbon deposits to accumulate at 2 to 3 times the rate of top tier fuel. Professional walnut shell blasting becomes necessary at 40,000 to 60,000 miles instead of 80,000 to 120,000 miles. Multiple extra cleaning cycles over 300,000 miles. $3,600 to $7,200 in preventable costs. What to do? Instead, verify your regular station is top tier certified at toptiergas.com. The price difference is typically 2 to 5 cents per gallon, less than $30 per year. It's the cheapest intake valve protection available. Mistake number 12, driving through deep water without preparation. Subaru's adventure marketing leads many owners to believe the vehicles can handle any water they encounter. Hydrolocking occurs when water enters the intake, reaches the cylinders, and the piston attempting compression encounters incompressible liquid. The connecting rod bends catastrophically, or the piston cracks. Either requires complete engine rebuild or replacement. On Subarus with open-element aftermarket intakes positioned low in the engine bay, even moderately deep puddles can pull water into the intake. Stock vehicles have better protection from the factory airbox position, but not unlimited protection. Hydrolock repair, $3,000 to $8,000. Complete engine replacement, $6,000 to $10,000. What to do? Instead, never enter water without checking depth first. Never drive through water at speed where bow wave can flood the intake. If your engine stalls in deep water, do not restart. Restarting with water in the cylinders converts a stalled engine into a hydro-locked one. Have it towed and inspected first. The bottom line: 12 mistakes Subaru owners must never make. Idling instead of gentle driving for warm-up causes carbon buildup and inadequate drivetrain warming. Wrong coolant chemistry accelerates corrosion in aluminum components and head gasket sealing surfaces. Mismatched tire diameters destroys the center differential and stresses CVT internals constantly. Skipping CVT fluid changes leads directly to $5,000 to $7,000 transmission failure. Running engine low on oil causes bearing and valve train failures from pressure deficiency. Incorrect or low-quality motor oil accelerates wear across all internal components. Towing over rated capacity causes thermal CVT damage and head gasket acceleration. Ignoring check engine lights allows cascading secondary failures that multiply repair costs dramatically. Neglecting brake fluid replacement creates brake fade safety risk and corrodes ABS components. Skipping ECU reset after service causes drivability complaints that generate unnecessary diagnostic fees. Non-top tier fuel consistently accelerates intake valve carbon deposits requiring earlier professional cleaning. Driving through unknown water depth risks catastrophic hydrolock requiring complete engine replacement. None of these are complicated to avoid. All cost nothing to prevent. All cost thousands to repair. And if you want the complete maintenance system that ties all of this together, the correct procedures, intervals, and products for every system on your Subaru, check out the 500,000-mile car maintenance blueprint in the description. If you found this video helpful, be sure to watch this next video as we're sharing insider tips to help you cut repair costs and keep your car running like new.